Only one event has caused people to say that the healing and unlocking that they received within was akin to a plant medicine ceremony. Only one event has caused people to say that it changed their life from the inside out forever. And that event is Awaken Your Highest Self. It's been live for the last 3 years, and it has transformed the lives of thousands of people. And yet we're going virtual with it. So if you've ever wanted to attend this magical 3-day experience live and in person, this is your final chance. Go to dannymorel.com/awaken right now, or click the link in the show notes to register today. You guys are in for a treat. I mean, just look at the cover and look at the name of this book, Pussy. And you know what, I got to tell you, I'm just so glad that we're just saying the word without shame, without any,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
Yeah.
It is a big reclamation. That's why the subtitle is Pussy, a Reclamation, because we got to take that word back from the patriarchal world culture that devalued that aspect of the feminine and disparaged and diminished and ignored and all of the things, and understand that pussy is a portal. That's the source of all life, that all of us, got pushed out of a pussy.
That's right.
So
We did.
It's a very sacred aspect of what it means to be a human being.
With that, welcome Mama Gena, Regena Thomashauer. How are you?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy.
We've already had like 100 adventures and we're just meeting each other.
Yes. And I really do believe that this is an important conversation for men to listen to as well, along with women. Because
Yes.
number one, I have this instinctive feeling that most women aren't as connected to their pussy as is available to them. And for sure as heck, men aren't. So my first question is, how did this work begin for you?
Oh my goodness, Ari, you're asking like a big question.
Let's do it.
Because this book was my fourth.
Oh.
It's the book I always wanted to write. But let's say 25 years ago, when I started my school, that was not the moment. I kind of had to, how you get a feeling about timing, and the timing wasn't right 25 years ago, but now the timing is right. So how I started my journey, did you, like when you were a little boy, did you sort of have imaginings of what your life might be like? Or
somewhat, yeah.
Where you just kind of had a vision. Your mission is to help people and to heal people, and to kind of step into that portal as a way shower, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was a kid, I had abuse and domestic violence in my family. And the consequence was that when I was a little girl, at night, when I would go to bed, I would feel like the goddess came to me and she would like sit on my pillow. And it felt so good. I felt this like alive, connected, turned on feeling. And when I would turn to look at her, she would evaporate. And I thought, whoa, I want to see her. I want to feel that feeling. And I thought maybe there was some kind of church, because I was Jewish and I knew that we didn't have goddesses and the Jews did not. And I thought maybe the Catholics did, or maybe the Protestant. So I had different girlfriends and friends of mine take me to churches and temples and things, but I could never find anywhere where the feminine was worshipped.
You never will.
And exactly.
You never will.
Isn't that crazy?
The reason why religion keeps the feminine out of all of their beliefs and all of their scriptures is because religion is meant to separate us. Right. And as a result, religion can only live in the mind, not in the heart. And the feminine literally is the heart.
And the body.
Yeah, and
like
the body.
The whole body, including the pussy. So, and what's the one thing you're never supposed to do when you go to a church or a synagogue? You can never be sexy or look hot or have a lot of fun.
No, because sex is sin.
After a while, I stopped searching for the goddess, but also I didn't really realize how hurt I was because of my childhood. And I came to New York because I wanted to be an actor, but somehow I just couldn't find the confidence in myself to do anything or take the steps. And I noticed I wasn't the only one. All of my friends that I went to women's college, the friends that went to the Mount Holyoke with me, were women that, like, my friend was an artist. She couldn't charge for her work. She made beautiful paintings. I had another friend who just kept getting degree after degree after degree because she never felt like she was there, wherever there is. I had another friend who wanted to be a director, but she ended up working for her dad's temp agency.
Wow.
And so I was like, women are somehow have a crisis of confidence. And I began to research more that women weren't asking for their value when they would have a job interview in the same way men would. They wouldn't aggress in their careers. They weren't offered leadership positions. And I thought there's something about the feminine where we are not feeling parity, we're feeling blocked. And I thought, I have to figure this out. And I began to research ancient indigenous cultures, ancient goddess traditions, the work of Maria Gimbutas, Joseph Campbell, Ryan Eisler. But all that research wasn't leading me to a connected, happy, confident life. But I had this good fortune. I went to an audition for the Actors Information Project. And that when I auditioned for it, they said to me, "You're a very good actor, Regena, but you have no turn on. There is no sensuality in your work, and you're going to be cast as old auntie roles, old woman roles, old 20, 30 years older than yourself. So you need to get this together." And so me, the little hermit from the little broken hermit girl, went to a class called Basic Sensuality. So scary to open. I mean, people can't even buy a book called Pussy because they're scared of the cover. Although when you give a woman a copy, she gets secretly happy. So I go to this class. They give us an exercise where you're supposed to pamper yourself, and you're supposed to get like flowers and sparkling water and all these lovely things and give yourself a bath and treat yourself like you're the most important person in the world.
Yes.
I never thought I was the most important person in the world because I was, I grew up in a conservative Jewish family, and I was supposed to take care of my brothers. I was supposed to be the nurse in my brother's medical practices because they were supposed to be doctors, and I could be the secretary of that's what they thought.
Right.
And so here I am treating myself like the most important person in the world and giving myself a bath and putting on lotion. And I look in the mirror, Danny, and my life changed. Because when I saw my own eyes in the mirror, in a place of pleasure, lit by candlelight, with beautiful music playing, I saw the goddess in my own eyes. Dude, she was in my own eyes.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit, Regena.
Yes.
This is where she's been hiding.
Yes.
She's inside of every single woman. And pleasure is the way that women connect. But because we're so cut off from our sensuality, we're so cut off from our bodies, we're so cut off from our spirituality.
Yes.
We don't know that we're divine.
Yes.
And we worship God. And we think we're supposed to pray at the altar of the masculine somehow. Moses, Abraham, Jesus, Muhammad. And we don't know we're holy.
That's right.
And I thought, okay, I have to tell every woman that she's sacred, but I know nothing. So what do I do? But this school that taught that particular course, it's this whole school called Lafayette Morehouse. And I just dove in. It was kind of a sex commune, kind of. So going from being a little celibate hermit into a sex commune, because that's how we roll sometimes. You just have to take big leaps when you're stuck.
That's right.
And I just want to say, if you're stuck right now and you're listening to us and you get a big leap, take it. It's going to lead somewhere awesome. And we rarely get chances, but when they present, you have to roll and you have to jump on that. You have to say yes.
Yeah.
So I learned all about orgasm. This body got certified in a practice called extended massive orgasm, where you learn how to have an orgasm for 1 hour, or in their more advanced programs, 3 hours. Because orgasm is literally the practice of being in the present moment and feeling pleasure. It's exactly that thing that Jen was describing about her insight a few days ago.
Yeah.
Where she was like, that she had an insight, she had an awakening. It was like, you can choose the ecstasy in the world.
I want to talk
Or-
about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want
Let's
to
do
talk
it.
about that. So you guys got to understand the way that this whole thing happened. First off, I've been pretty open about the fact that I've been thinking of letting go of the podcast, and and the podcast is not wanting to let go of
It
me.
doesn't want to let go of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing
Clearly,
right now.
that is why we are here
Clearly,
today.
that's why
people.
we're here right now, which is all good. It's all good. But you know, one of the things that both Jen and I have gone through, it's as if spirit is removing from us any fabric of any thought, feeling, or emotion that is blocking us from real love and from like eternal love. You know, like
Wow.
this is a I can see us just going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And so for me, and she knows this and the world knows this, you know, before I met Jen, I thought I was going to marry a girl from Colombia because I just never saw myself with a white girl.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
Right. And part of that was an insecurity. Part of that was because when you grow up Black, Hispanic, whatever in America, you're told you're a minority.
Right.
Which is why for the work I'm going to do, I attracted the perfect woman to help me face every single one of my insecurities.
Yes.
Right? And yet, you know, I really believe that the masculine men in this case are always in their mind seeking freedom. And the woman, the feminine, wants more connection. It's just the way that we're designed. So here I am, I'm married and everything, and I'm still in the back of my head, not consciously, it's just ruminating some imaginary Colombian chick. And I'm like,
oh
what
my
the fuck?
God.
No. And I have my dream
And
woman.
You have like the most extraordinary. Like,
I know.
When I walked into that nail salon, she sat next to me, I was like, oh shit. Is she like a movie star? She's so gorgeous, understated, elegant.
Yes. Yes.
Radiant.
All of it. And so, you know, so while that was happening in me, in her, what was happening was, did I really want to move to Austin?
Right.
Did I really want to marry a guy with 3 kids?
Yeah.
Did I really want a guy that's older than me? You know, all the stuff that all of society is dealing with right now that is blocking us from real love.
Yes.
So we use the medicine. And when I journeyed, the medicine, Mama Gena literally asked me, what do you want? Because you're the creator of it all. So if you want it, you can go bang the chick from Colombia if you want, right? And it didn't even ask me. And here's the beautiful part that I realized is that like we're so in our heads that when we're in space with the medicine, we're in our heart and our soul.
Yes.
And my heart and soul said, no, I want Jen.
Yeah.
I want Jen. That's all I want. And the medicine basically like smacked me around, was like, okay, then you focus here and this is your family. And the craziest thing was like, it was gone. Well, Jen did a journey as well.
Okay. And what's the medicine you're using?
Cannabis.
How does this happen with cannabis?
Oh,
like
you have no idea. Listen to me right now. Cannabis, number one, is the most judged and most abused plant on the planet.
Whoa.
And it is the most magical and most powerful. Literally, I akin it to the mushrooms or ayahuasca.
Whoa.
I'm telling you. But it's all about intention.
Yeah.
You see, cannabis is so powerful that it meets you at your intention. So if you're in high school and you want to get high with the homies, you're going to get high with the homies. But if you're in sacred ceremony and you revere the medicine and you say, you know, medicine, teach me, show me my blockages, show me what's holding me back, show me. And you take a hit and you lay down and you play some beautiful music. Guess what? It's going to give you a journey.
Whoa.
So this is our medicine now.
Whoa.
And we're in and out in an hour. Worst case, you get a little munchies, you laugh a little, but that's it. So Jen has a journey, and Jen was like, and the medicine told her, I'm sure she'll show her story, but said, can you let go of the story? Can you let go of the Austin thing? Can you let go of this thing? Can you let go of this? Because that's what's blocking you from experiencing the pleasure that there is to experience in this relationship. And it was really beautiful because both of us unknowingly said, yes, I'm willing to let that part of me die.
Wow.
And the next day, The next day, she walks into a nail salon and you were there. And this is how the show happened.
There is some, like, I just got chills everywhere. There is like some kind of like divine hand in this meeting and in
Yeah.
our being here right
Yeah.
now. It's so potent.
I really believe a lot of women need to hear from this conversation. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And men, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it really is. That's the experience that women, because we live in a culture that disparages the feminine and excludes the feminine, overlooks the feminine, abuses the feminine. Women don't, they're so broken.
That's the place where I think most women are at. They're disconnected from their power, their essence, their pleasure. And as a result, life, like literally the beauty of life.
Literally. Okay. But think about it. When you raise, when you were growing up, what did your this get called?
My dick.
Great. You knew you had a dick. Other boys, you have a penis.
Mm-hmm.
When you ask, I ask a room full of 1,000 women, what did this get called? I'll get like hundreds of responses. Oh, it's my coochie. It's my hoochie. It's my purse. It's my knish. It's my Walter Winchell. It's my Miss Kitty.
My Walter Winchell?
Oh no, it's a true story. My little peach, my pumpkin, my front bottom. And then half the room will say, nothing. Oh, we didn't have a name for that. Nothing. And then there's the vagina girls. The vaginas we're like, oh, my father was a gynecologist. So it's a vagina. I'm like, it's not a vagina. It's a vulva. We don't even know the name for the exterior genitalia of the female body.
The very thing in which life is birthed out of.
Craziness, Danny.
Which is why, as a society, we are so disconnected from our feminine.
Exactly.
And from love.
Exactly.
And from God.
Exactly.
And from life.
Hallelujah. It's so true. And the problem is that let's say you had things like this on the ends of your arm, but every time you said, Mom, what's this? She would go, you think, oh, damn, I have to hide these things. Oh, whoa. And then shame creeps into the body and into the life. And so when a woman doesn't even have a name or the incorrect name or a different name than her girlfriends or her cousins or her aunties, of that which is most essentially feminine about her, the sacred core of her feminine being, she knows she better be ashamed of that. Mm-hmm. Something is wrong with her. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you put a drop of shame into the body woman, she starts to become ashamed of everything, of the way she looks, of the way she smells, of how tall, how short, how old, how young, how fat, how thin. She's never right. She is always wrong. It's like a linguistic clitoridectomy where we take the sex out of the body woman and all that she has is shame and powerlessness. And where does that power go that she's not in control of? Straight into the hands of the first boy she has a crush on.
Yeah.
Or the second boy she has a crush on. Or the job that she thinks she has to have because she's so desperate because only if she gets that job or into that school,
then she'll feel light, she'll
right.
Feel beautiful.
Or she'll get that facelift and she'll feel amazing, or the boob job and she'll feel and nothing can fill the hole. Nothing. She's empty.
Yeah.
And so that's why I called the book Pussy, because I was like, it's time to awaken, sisters. We have to wake up and we have to reclaim and we have to take possession of our bodies. We have to own our sensuality, because if you don't, you can't connect to your divinity.
You can't. It's all by design.
Love you. I love you. Yeah. I love you because I never met anybody that got it like that.
No. It's because I don't only get it. I have felt it and experienced it in my own feminine.
Yes.
In my own heart.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, as you're talking, I'm going like this because it's like, I don't want to do anything with my entire life for as long as I live other than help people reconnect to their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we as a society, as a human race can reconnect to our hearts, we reconnect with our feminine,
Mhm.
and our women are
Mhm.
liberated, and our women are the heart essence of fucking life,
Yes.
of the
Yes,
universe.
yes.
This is why you see everything that you see. This is why you see racism. This is why you see pain.
You
This is
are
why you see
right.
war. This is
You
why you
are
see
right.
disconnection. This is why you see everything that you don't want to see in
That's
the world, because our women are disconnected from the God being, from the goddess that they are.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the challenge is how do you reteach a woman her majesty, her brilliance, her beauty, her holiness, her loveliness?
Can I tell you the answer?
Tell me.
Ayahuasca.
Okay, Danny, you cannot be roaming around the world handing out cups of ayahuasca to people, Danny. It's a bad idea. Stop yourself.
I want to fly over with a helicopter and just give it to everybody. It'll fix everything. No, but I say that because that is it's the feminine frequency and energy of God.
You know, I have this awakening, so I go and I learn all about pussy and sensuality and pleasure. And then I think, well, I'll teach classes. And so, you know, I moved to New York City, and I decide, like, I'll teach these classes in sensuality and communications, and then I have my daughter, which I know you just had a baby girl a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And when I had my daughter, I'm sure this happened to you too. You feel so connected to, well, it happened with your sons too, I'm sure, where you just feel so connected to the lineage, like to the ancestors that made you possible, so filled with gratitude, so much a part of, like, and my first thought was when I held that baby in my arms, I was like, how do I make the world safe for her? How do I make sure that the world can handle who and what a little girl is, who and what a woman is? And I thought, oh, I got to start a school, and I have to teach women. And since I just had a baby, I'll be Mama Gena, and I'll call it Mama Gena School of Womanly Arts. And I'll teach all about the art of being a woman. And so she's a baby, and I decide to start the school in my living room. And my first class had 10 women in it. And over the past 25 years that I just scaled that school, I just, like a tornado. And it went from a handful of women in my living room to literally thousands and thousands of women.
Oh, we're gonna get you
at the Javits Center, and then all these different venues, just teaching women how to connect to their bodies, connect to their sensuality, connect to their pussies, fall in love with their bodies, understand through sisterhood and through community that we are all sisters. And this lineage, it used to be passed down mother to daughter. We taught each other, we sistered each other, but the patriarchy cuts women off from sisterhood, and it's something that it can't continue, because women give each other permission. It's in sisterhood that our dreams can grow and our dreams can thrive. In sisterhood, we can hold space for women to get their desires and to feel free in their longings and to feel free in their sensual expression. So it's really key and really, really important. And I learned from courtesans, women who were practicing the art of the feminine, that if you want to give pleasure, you must know pleasure. And we aren't taught about pleasure. There's no place to learn. There's no place to practice. And so I thought, I got to start the School of Womanly Arts.
Speaking of pleasure,
yes,
I want to talk about the clitoris.
Let's do it.
Because if you think about it, this is one thing Jen told me about the book that was like, oh shit, she's right.
Yeah.
Like, no one else has a human body part whose sole reason for existing is pleasure.
Yes.
Like, if that doesn't tell you something,
doesn't tell you something,
that the woman is the only being
Yes.
that has a specific body part that its only function
Yes.
is to receive pleasure,
Yes.
then what it's telling you is that the juice of life is
It's
in pleasure.
It's so true. It is so true. And here's the thing. Women have been taught to take care of their husbands, their fathers, their boyfriends, their kids, their bosses. But no one teaches us, serve your pleasure first. That if you take care, because a woman, when she's turned on, is a woman in her highest power, her highest beauty, her highest radiance. And we don't study it. We don't take the time. We don't even know it's our right. We think we have to have the crumbs after everybody else dines at the table of pleasure. But we don't know that it matters. And if you think about function and form, right? Well, guys, I mean, you have a multi-tool. It pees, it ejaculates, it performs miracles. It gets hard.
It goes up, it goes down.
Yeah, it's busy. It's got a life. But a clitoris, the only function is pleasure. And it means that if it has 10,000 nerve endings dedicated to pleasure. It's so highly sensitive.
That's wild to me.
It's wild. It's so wild. And it means that, like form, like function follows form.
Mm-hmm.
So for a woman, if 10,000 of her thoughts are not about her pleasure, 10,000 of her actions, 10,000 of her ideas, her dreams are not about pleasure, she's not living the design of being a woman. She's instead living the design of being a little man, doing things, being functional,
Preach.
Getting out there,
Here it
going
is.
to the workplace,
Here
competing with men, putting on the man suit,
Yep.
manning up.
Yep.
To be in her corporation and function and that's not the feminine.
It's not the design. Yeah.
And that dries the woman up.
Yep.
And here's the worst part, Danny. It pisses her off, makes her angry and frustrated. And very often she will release that anger and frustration on the men in her world simply because she is not aware that pleasure is actually a discipline and a responsibility and a birthright.
So people do our courses.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like, okay, where do I start?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something that I honestly envision,
Yes.
but half the time I don't say.
Okay.
I want to tell everyone, go take a bath. Go light some candles.
Yes.
Go play some
Such a
fucking
good thing to do.
music. That's the vision that I have in my head. Like, why? I want you to help me. Like, why do you think that's the vision that I have?
It's a gorgeous vision. First of all, let me give you another thing they could do. They could go to my website, www.mamagenas.com, MAMAGENAS.com. Sign up for a free gift that we're going to have for your listeners.
Okay.
Called The Ultimate Guide to Getting What You Want. And it is the basic tools of pleasure practices.
Okay.
It's like, where does the beginner start? I come home from a really long work day. I've got kids. I have dinners to make. What do? I slam down my computer. I throw myself in the kitchen and no, I stop. I tell the kids, get in there and put that pizza in the oven. I go in the bath. I light a candle. Better still, I tell my kids I'm on my way home from work. They fill the bathtub for me. They light the candle. They put the music on. They hand me a glass of sparkling water and they let mom or grandma chill for a few before shifting gears, like stopping to take that moment to create a pleasurable experience for ourselves that will be able to be the source of fuel for the ways in which we want to serve and love or tend or engage or connect with others. But women are taught to bypass the pleasure, and then we burn ourselves out in service. And why you love the idea of a bath, it's like an instant way, or it could be a shower, or it could be a jump in Barton Springs, or It could be just like having that cup of your favorite green tea, taking it in your favorite, most exquisite mug. Or this is how susceptible women are to pleasure, Danny. Like literally, let's say I'm in traffic and I'm like, and if I remember, wait a minute, I'm cortisone, I'm Mama Gena, I have 10,000 nerve endings dedicated to pleasure. And then I just take my fingers and I go, and I start to lightly run my fingers down. No, try this. Try this while you're watching the podcast. You do too. Okay. Can you feel your?
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah. Can you feel like that little aliveness in your skin right now?
Yeah.
That's the goddess, baby. That's you are cultivating. You're evoking divinity in 1 second with your fingers.
All of you do that.
Yeah, and literally that little bit of turn on, I can still feel it tick. Can you still feel it tickling inside
Yeah.
you?
I literally, yeah.
That is life force. It's what runs through the rivers and the oceans. It's what runs from the sun to the moon to the stars. It's the wind in the trees. That is life force. That is turned on energetic radiance. That's ours as much as it belongs to Mother Nature. And when women are disconnected from that, we are hosed. And when we're connected to that, all things are possible.
Yeah. How can a man help a woman to get reconnected to her own sense of pleasure?
So many ways.
Okay.
So many ways. First of all, women kind of run on the same operating system as pussies run or clits run, right? If you want to turn a pussy off, very simple. You yell at them, you criticize them, you put them on a timer, you say, hurry up. You say, ew. That will turn a pussy off. If you want to turn a pussy on, use any adjectives. You are so lovely. Oh, you are so beautiful. You are exquisite. I can't take my eyes off you. It works for a pussy. It works for a woman. Praise. We love, 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 love attention, approval, appreciation. We love to be noticed. Okay. Secondly, we love when you find all faces of us beautiful. For example, I'm screaming at my partner and I'm like, we're late. Oh my God. How did we do that? How did you do this? And he says, you are so hot when you're angry. Look how hot you are right now. Like when he is in approval and appreciation of sides of myself that I am not in approval or appreciation of. Oh my goodness. It just
turns you on.
Turns me on so much. Then any act of service in the direction of my pleasure. For example, Jen comes home from a big, heavy day of yoga. You've made dinner or you've ordered dinner or you've told her on the way home, I got dinner handled, baby. Big Daddy's taking you out tonight or whatever, making dinner happen. Or I'm going to take the baby so you can have, another 5 minutes on the phone with your mom this morning. Or like noticing, any form of noticing and enhancing her pleasure, offering her some pleasurable experience is so deeply appreciated.
Beautiful.
Deeply, deeply appreciated. Now, we also have to feel that we deserve it and that we're worthy of it and that we can receive it. And this is where the real importance of pussy and my work comes in. I actually have a 5-day receiving challenge also on my website because women have a very hard time receiving compliments, receiving beautiful opportunities.
Love even.
Receiving love. Oh, baby, it is so true. It is so true. It's especially if you've never really felt it.
Yeah.
I definitely had that in my life before Peter, where I didn't have the roadmap to love because of my own upbringing. But he really is such a loving man. he really stood for me and with me until I could really, really let his love in. I'm so lucky
Yeah.
to have him.
Yeah. You called him in.
I did.
Yeah.
Took me a while, but
It's okay.
he's here.
I just can't help but think how perfect this conversation has been and is, because everything you're describing, I see it all in the spiritual world. I see it all in the energetics of things. You can see how, I mean, obviously, for example, Mary Magdalene was around Jesus every single day. I believe they were lovers. I believe that she helped prepare him for death. I believe she was a disciple, but you don't hear anything about her.
Exactly.
And it's if I can help you guys understand this, it is all on purpose.
That's right.
Because if you are and can be, and think about this in your life and think about society, if you are disconnected from your heart, your emotions, men are told literally they're little bitches or that they're a pussy if they go into their emotions. So immediately, where do we go? Into our mind.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going down there. I'm not going here. This is dangerous, right? And then the same thing happens with women because they've been hurt by men.
Right.
Because men are up here.
Yes.
Yeah. So men are up here, then they hurt women. Women go up here, and then guess what happens? On top of all of that, you are told that God is a man, which is an absolute ludicrosity of an idea.
Yes.
When even it requires a male and female fucking avocado tree.
Right.
To make an avocado.
Right on.
How?
Right on, Danny.
How
Daddy.
Was the fucking universe made when all of life, when a battery is negative and positive, when there's the sun and the moon, when there's the beginning and the end, when there's masculine and feminine, when there's a penis and a vagina, when there's a vulva, right? And when both of those come together, when one opens and one enters. Look at the duality of all of life. And only then can life be created. But you think God is a man? No.
And I got to say something, Danny. What I learned during my hermit decade was that pre-patriarchy, which is literally, it's only a couple thousand years. No big deal. Prior to that, like the 30 to 50,000 years that we can possibly, piece together legends, mysteries, and lessons and different objects that are discovered historically, the feminine was worshipped. Not like
100%.
Not like the great pussy in the sky. It was partnership. It was masculine and feminine.
That's right.
But the stories of those women, it wasn't just the story of sacrifice and like being victimized. Like Jesus nailed to a cross. Moses never got to the promised land. Buddha left behind his wife and child to receive enlightenment. Like, no, the stories of, for example, Inanna is from about 2000 years BC. And it was a story of a woman who she was queen. She took off her crown, her breastplate, her jewels to descend into the underworld because her ego had to die for her to evolve. Like, how many times have you had an ego death in your life? We go through them all the time if we're living well. And so here's a story that I never would have learned about it as a little Jewish girl, of a woman who descends in order to be reborn into a new iteration of herself. Or a story of Kali, who is a Hindu goddess of destruction, where sometimes our lives just blow the fuck up and something new is born. And I didn't know that there was a precedent for that goddesses were there to teach me of these kinds of things. Or the story of Demeter and Persephone, Greek mythology, where Persephone is the goddess of springtime and Demeter, her mother, and Persephone gets taken into Hades by Hades himself. And then the earth dies, but then she comes back in the spring because she has reclaimed that dark part of herself. And just like learning about the different faces of the feminine that are spiritually alive prior to the last 2000 years when we were crossed off the list.
Yeah. You know what scene comes to mind?
Tell
Do
me.
you remember Moana?
Uh-huh.
You remember at the very end where she's fighting against, and this thing is like throwing flames and,
Yes. Yes.
she's at the very end and Moana it just clicks and she's
Yes.
like, no, like, and I don't know the exact scene. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, but then she just like comes up to her and like places the stone in her heart
Oof.
and boom. And it's
Poof.
like Mother Nature.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
She she who feeds us every day, no matter what kooky wars we fight, what ridiculous politicians are in power,
Yeah.
what tragedies we humans create of polluting this planet. The sun rises for us every single day.
Yeah.
The moon at night, the stars, the rain, the wind. She is so generous and unrelenting in her love. Maybe you get fired from IBM, but you never get fired from Mother Nature, from Pachamama, from the life force. She
Yeah.
will love you, love you, love you, no matter what an asshole you are.
That's right. That's right. And in many ways, I like to think about it as we leave our mother's womb and then we enter her womb.
Yes, that is so true.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because she's always there. Oh, Danny, I had this crazy experience. I was once teaching a class at this Jesuit place called Kripalu in Massachusetts. And I go in and there's no windows except for like a little slit at the top of the church where I'm going to teach my class. And I'm like, what's up? Why are the windows all the way up there? You guys are in the Berkshires. It's so beautiful. And they said, well, churches were designed to keep out Mother Nature.
Of course.
Because they didn't want the people in the church to suspect that God was outside.
Did you hear what you just said?
Isn't it amazing?
You hear what she just said? That's truth right there.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I see. It's a hustle. I get it. We're supposed to believe that only if something holy happens in these walls.
That's right.
And that's why we got to pay the
10%.
The 10% to keep these guys going.
That's it. It's all bullshit.
Well, it's definitely a hustle.
Yeah.
And she's everywhere and she's free.
She's free.
And she wants us to feel pleasure and she wants us to connect to our beautiful, extraordinary bodies. And she wants us to be turned on and she wants us to feel every single drop of our emotional range. That was one of the most shocking things once I connected with my pussy and with my body and with my orgasm and with pleasure. It opened up, instead of just thinking I had to be happy all the time or fine. Oh, how are you? Fine. I realized, there's beauty in my darkness.
Yes,
there's
that's right.
Ravishing magic in my grief and in my agony. Like, opened up the full range of every drop of the wild, wonderful, expansive, all the 88 keys of my piano I could play, which I could never even play middle C when I was disconnected from my pussy and my body.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
I want to help you.
Oh, thank you. I would love that.
I just want the world.
Let's do this.
Like, yeah. Where do they go? Where do they?
Well, they can get pussy or reclamation anywhere.
This is a must.
Books are sold.
Listen to me. And any book that has I don't want to say the balls, but any book that has the balls to literally call itself this, you just have to get it because of the title.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm on socials. They can follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I love my Instagram. I love connecting with people. It's Mama Gena on Instagram or Facebook. My website, mamagenas.com.
Okay.
And we got a couple of free offers for you all.
Beautiful.
So come connect with me. I answer all my DMs because I don't know. It's fun. I just love to get in there.
I love it.
That's how we connected, because
right.
you left me a DM and I was
That's
like,
right.
Danny,
Yeah, and they'll get to know you because we're going to be doing some collaborative clips and do all
Okay,
that stuff. So it'll be fun.
fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having
Thank you
me.
for being
Thank
here.
you, Jen, for making all this possible.
Yes.
And to the great pussy in the sky and the great cock in the sky.
Yes. To you both, who I didn't know existed other than this very moment right here. We'll see you next week on another episode of The Higher Self.